have a knife. Being a police nigger fucking me. Get me the fuck out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. Go ahead, Rest. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait, I was about to, you guys should all good move on like that's about to move.
The beach is gone. Santa Monica's tragic fall into homeless hell. Documentary 2025. The homelessness situation is becoming extremely concerning here. Santa Monica, long celebrated for its golden coastline, ocean breeze, and postcard charm, has always symbolized the dream of California living. With its sun-drenched boardwalks, vibrant culture, and iconic pier, it stands as a beacon for tourists, artists, and those chasing serenity by the sea. However, as 2025 unfolds, a more sobering reality pierces the fantasy. Beneath the layers of coastal glamour lies a troubling story of loss, inequality, and societal collapse. What was once paradise now teeters on the edge of despair, as homelessness, mental health crises, and policy paralysis transform this beloved beach town into a battleground for survival. This video peels back the layers of illusion and invites viewers into a side of Santa Monica that rarely makes the brochure, a city wrestling with its conscience, struggling to reconcile its beauty with its burden. Before starting the video, please like and share to let your friends know more about the issues surrounding the United States. Santa Monica has long been known for its breathtaking beaches, luxurious lifestyle, and vibrant boardwalks filled with tourists enjoying sunshine and surf. From rooftop restaurants overlooking the Pacific Ocean to upscale shops and iconic landmarks like the Santa Monica Pier, the city radiates affluence and charm. It's a place where many come to escape, dream, and live well. But just beyond this polished exterior lies a drastically different reality. A few steps from the pier, tents line the sidewalks and parks. People sleep under bus stops, on concrete benches, or beneath shop awnings, often exposed to cold nights, unsafe conditions, and health challenges. The same streets where shoppers and joggers pass through are also home to hundreds who have no roof over their heads. In 2024, the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority recorded 774 unhoused individuals in Santa Monica, with more than 60% of them unsheltered. For a city of fewer than 100,000 residents, this figure is striking and reveals how deeply embedded the crisis has become. The contrast is stark and emotional. Wealth and suffering lie side by side. Tourists bask in beauty while, just feet away, individuals struggle with the basic needs of food, safety, and dignity. Santa Monica's glamour doesn't mask the crisis, it magnifies it. This duality of paradise and poverty now defines the city's identity in 2025, and understanding it is the first step toward changing it. To truly understand the depth of Santa Monica's current crisis, we must first trace the city's long and layered history. Founded in the 1870s, Santa Monica began as a coastal retreat, offering breathtaking views and temperate weather. It quickly evolved into a magnet for wealth and entertainment. By the 1920s, it had become a glamorous playground for the rich and famous, with film stars and elite socialites frequenting its grand hotels, luxurious spas, and seaside amusements. The city's golden age continued through the mid-20th century. During the post-World War II boom, Santa Monica experienced rapid suburban expansion. The presence of major employers like the Douglas Aircraft Company attracted thousands of workers, fueling the economy and solidifying its reputation as both an industrial and leisure hub. The middle class flourished, and for decades, Santa Monica represented both the charm of small-town living and the benefits of economic opportunity. But the illusion of prosperity for all began to unravel in the 1980s. That decade marked the beginning of significant changes, some intentional, others incidental, that would have long-lasting consequences. Chief among them was the nationwide policy of deinstitutionalization. Mental health facilities across California were shut down, displacing thousands of patients without sufficient community support systems. Many of these individuals gravitated toward coastal cities like Santa Monica, drawn by mild weather and accessible public spaces. With nowhere to go, many ended up on the streets. In the 1990s and 2000s, gentrification added fuel to the fire. Once affordable neighborhoods were transformed by rising property values and upscale developments. Small, older homes were replaced by high-end condos and boutique apartment complexes. Long-time residents were priced out, while rent control measures eroded and public housing options dwindled. The gap between rich and poor widened dramatically. Today's crisis is the result of this slow-moving storm, decades of rising costs, social displacement, and systemic neglect. Policies that prioritized economic development over inclusive growth created a landscape where wealth is concentrated in glass towers and despair is pushed to the margins. This tragic trajectory did not emerge overnight. It is the cumulative outcome of policies, market forces, and public indifference that has allowed basic human needs to go unmet. What we are witnessing in 2025 is not just homelessness. It is a reflection of broken systems, forgotten histories, and years of decisions that favored prosperity for the few over protection for the many. So what are the specific crises here? Please like, subscribe, and join our group for more in-depth content. Currently, the housing landscape in Santa Monica presents an impossible challenge for many. The average rent for a one-bedroom apartment has skyrocketed to around $3,000 per month. An insurmountable barrier for low-income residents, seniors, and the disabled. Only a small fraction of available units, 13%, qualify as affordable under state criteria. This financial pressure not only leads to housing instability, but also contributes to heightened stress, anxiety, and other mental health challenges. Due to the housing crisis, many homeless people are living in subways and stations. Police and mental health teams have been working together to support those in need, to ensure the safety of passengers.
You alright? Now you gotta go, let's go. So you don't even have attention? Let's go. Come on, let's go. Come back on.
Simultaneously, the mental health system remains critically under-resourced. Nearly 40% of Santa Monica's unhoused population grapples with untreated psychological conditions. These individuals, often left without diagnosis or care, are further compounded by substance dependency, particularly fentanyl and methamphetamine, plaguing street communities. Recognizing the interplay between housing instability and mental health challenges, Santa Monica has begun implementing integrated approaches to tackle this dual crisis. Programs like the Services, Treatment, and Empowerment Program Step Court aim to connect individuals experiencing homelessness with mental health and substance abuse treatment alongside housing assistance. Additionally, initiatives such as the Pathway Home program have transitioned individuals from encampments into interim supportive housing, providing a combination of shelter and access to necessary services.
We had our first Pathway Home encampment resolution in the 3rd District. It was in the city of Santa Monica, bringing 25 people inside and on their way to safe services and permanent affordable housing.
So let's have a hand for everybody that's doing all this great work.
However, these programs face limitations in scale and resources. The demand for affordable housing and comprehensive mental health services far exceeds the current supply, highlighting the need for expanded investment and regional collaboration. Efforts to increase the availability of supportive housing, which combines affordable housing with on-site services, are crucial in addressing the needs of this vulnerable population. Combined, these crises have created a vortex from which few can escape. The emotional toll is immense. For many, each day becomes a battle not just for shelter or safety, but for sanity and survival. Moreover, the lack of permanent supportive housing exacerbates the situation. While emergency shelters may offer temporary relief, they do little to address the long-term needs of those cycling in and out of homelessness. Without wraparound services, mental health counseling, substance abuse treatment, and vocational training, the path out of homelessness remains steep and unforgiving. To fully understand the crisis, The video offers a window into the lives of those affected. James, once a home builder, now lives without one. At 42, he became unhoused following a debilitating back injury. His voice carries the weariness of someone unseen, yet deeply rooted in the city he helped shape. Maria, a dedicated Key 3 outreach volunteer, is one of the unsung heroes battling this crisis daily. In 2024, she helped secure housing for 25 individuals. Her mornings begin before sunrise, and by dusk, she has often made dozens of contacts, each one a fragile thread of hope in a frayed system. Then there is Tony, a 72-year-old Vietnam veteran whose pension barely covers basic necessities. He sleeps near the pier and recites poetry to passers-by. "Santa Monica's my last stand," he says, with a mixture of defiance and exhaustion. These individuals are not statistics, they are the heart of this unfolding tragedy. Their stories remind viewers that behind every tarp, tent, and sleeping bag is a human being with a name, a history, and a longing for stability. These narratives also serve to humanize the broader issue. While public discourse often reduces homelessness to a matter of personal failure or crime, the lived experiences of people like James, Maria, and Tony make it abundantly clear this crisis is rooted in systemic failure, not individual choice. For many visitors, Santa Monica remains a must-see destination. Its ocean views, shopping districts, and art scene are world-renowned. Yet, for some, their experience in 2025 brings a jarring dose of reality.
Santa Monica is one of the most dangerous cities in all of California.
The city of Santa Monica is actually the least safe cities in our entire state.
Santa Monica is one of the most dangerous cities in all of California. The city of Santa Monica is actually the least safe city in our entire state. Sarah, a tourist from Chicago, shared how she gave her pretzel to an unhoused man on her first day. "It's not the version I imagined," she admitted. Others echo similar sentiments. The city still charms, but now it challenges as well. Tent encampments near hotel lobbies and the sight of people bathing with bottled water leave impressions not easily forgotten. As travel blogs and influencers increasingly highlight the city's gritty underbelly, the romantic image of Santa Monica is evolving. No longer just a backdrop for beach selfies, it has become a lens into broader societal issues that touch every visitor, however briefly. Police arrest homeless suspect in violent attack on multiple victims at Santa Monica Beach. While the beaches continue to draw crowds, the growing visibility of homelessness has undeniably changed the tourist experience, from carefree escapism to a more complex emotional reckoning. Indeed, the city's economy, deeply reliant on tourism, is beginning to feel the strain. Hotel owners report declines in bookings, and retail stores face dwindling foot traffic as certain areas become perceived as unsafe. The economic implications of this humanitarian crisis stretch far beyond those directly experiencing homelessness. They ripple outward, affecting business owners, workers, and residents alike. In response to rising public concern, the Santa Monica City Council implemented controversial ordinances in 2025 aimed at curbing visible homelessness. The city passed regulations banning the use of tents, bedding, and camping equipment in public areas, following a Supreme Court ruling that allowed municipalities to enact stricter measures. Mayor Phil Brock defended the move, framing it as a shelter push intended to guide people toward available services. However, critics were quick to point out that shelter capacity remained woefully inadequate, with beds often filled and waiting lists stretching for weeks. Enforcement, they argued, was disproportionately punitive and lacked viable alternatives. The Santa Monica Police Department, SMPD, employs a services-first approach, emphasizing outreach and support over punitive measures. Officers are trained to assess situations holistically, considering the totality of circumstances before issuing citations. Programs like the Homeless Liaison Program (HLP) and the Multidisciplinary Street Team (MDST) collaborate with social services to connect individuals to housing, mental health care, and substance use treatment. Public sentiment became divided. Some residents viewed the ordinances as necessary to preserve public safety and tourism. Others saw them as inhumane. pushing already vulnerable individuals further into the margins without offering sustainable support. Community meetings grew tense, with homeowners voicing concerns over tent encampments in parks, while advocacy groups demanded permanent supportive housing and an end to criminalization. The debate laid bare a deeper philosophical divide between those seeking to manage the symptoms of homelessness and those advocating for structural solutions. In Santa Monica, dedicated outreach teams play a crucial role in addressing homelessness by connecting individuals with essential services and support systems. These teams operate on the front lines, offering assistance that ranges from immediate necessities to long-term solutions. Every morning, they fan out across Santa Monica on foot, by van, carrying food, hygiene supplies, and vital information about services. These teams are often the only consistent point of contact for many unhoused individuals. Every morning, they fan out across Santa Monica on foot, by van, carrying food, hygiene supplies, and vital information about services. West Coast Care focuses on reuniting homeless individuals with their families and support networks. In 2024, they successfully housed 149 people through their family reunification program, demonstrating the effectiveness of reconnecting individuals with loved ones as a pathway out of homelessness. Santa Monica Police Department's Homeless Liaison Program, HLP. This program assigns officers to work collaboratively with social services, focusing on providing housing solutions rather than perpetuating an arrest and release cycle. The HLP has contributed to reducing homelessness levels by emphasizing support over punitive measures.
The mission of the HELP team, which again, Homeless Liaison Program, is basically to create a social safety net that disappeared back in the 80s. We ended up with a community with absolutely nowhere for people who didn't have a family to take care of them, or were caught in dire straits, and our department knew that we needed to fill in that gap. And the way that we do that is by using outreach, engagement, and enforcement.
Moreover, Maria, introduced earlier, begins her day at 5 a.m., mapping out key areas: Palisades Park, the bluffs above Pacific Coast Highway, and the alleys behind closed shops. By mid-morning, she's spoken with over a dozen people, many of whom know her by name. Some refuse help, others ask for socks or water, and a few express readiness for change. On a typical day, her team might connect 2 people to an emergency shelter, deliver medications to 3 others, and guide another toward mental health care. It's slow, emotionally taxing work, but it is also deeply human. In the absence of sweeping policy success, these micro-interventions become the front lines of hope. By dusk, the city's shadows stretch long across the pavement. Encampments begin to reassemble. Volunteers like Maria prepare to do it all again the next day, fueled by purpose and compassion. Santa Monica's nonprofits have long filled the void left by underfunded public programs. Organizations such as Step Up on 2nd Street, Joseph Center, and the People Concerned operate drop-in centers, transitional housing, food pantries, and job readiness programs. These institutions provide more than services, they restore dignity. A donated haircut, a clean shower, or a warm conversation can do more than just address a need. It can reaffirm humanity. In 2024, Step Up placed over 30 individuals into jobs, while Street, Joseph served more than 10,000 meals. Despite their critical role, these groups often operate on razor-thin budgets. Staff burnout is common. Demand far exceeds capacity. Yet without them, the city's most vulnerable residents would face an even starker reality. Their success stories, however, highlight a key truth. Progress is possible when trust, resources, and time are invested consistently. But they cannot do it alone. The scale of the crisis demands coordinated, long-term government support that extends beyond short-term grants and pilot programs. Beyond the moral imperative, Santa Monica's homelessness crisis has significant economic consequences. Tourism, the city's financial lifeblood, is showing signs of strain. Hotels report increased guest complaints, and some major chains have begun quietly reconsidering future investments in the area. Retail districts, once bustling, now feature boarded-up storefronts and dwindling foot traffic. On the 3rd Street Promenade, a historic shopping artery, some business owners blame encampments and open drug use for scaring off customers. Others lament rising rents and shifting consumer behavior. The city's attempts to bolster the economy with beautification projects and event programming have met mixed results. Without addressing the root causes of urban poverty, such efforts risk being seen as cosmetic fixes. Moreover, property values are experiencing volatility. Residents living near encampments worry about the future of their investments, while low-income renters brace for continued displacement. This economic ripple effect reveals the interconnectedness of housing stability and urban prosperity. Santa Monica, once a model of coastal affluence, now stands at a crossroads economically and ethically. Yet, amid the overwhelming challenges Santa Monica faces, rays of hope still manage to shine through the cracks. In 2024, Project Homecoming helped 15 unhoused individuals reunite with family members, some of whom they hadn't seen in years. These efforts weren't just logistical achievements, they represented emotional lifelines, offering a clean slate and a rare chance to rebuild connections in supportive environments. Plane tickets were issued, phone calls were made, and hearts were mended. Simultaneously, the city's therapeutic transport team, part of a broader behavioral health initiative, made 81 field contacts throughout the year, ultimately linking 41 individuals with long-term care services. For someone struggling with severe mental illness, even getting to a clinic can be an insurmountable challenge. These teams provide the missing link between crisis and care. While these efforts may seem small in the face of a massive crisis, for the people impacted, they are life-altering. A hot meal delivered by a volunteer, a clean pair of socks, a kind word from an outreach worker. These seemingly modest acts can renew a person's sense of humanity. They act as seeds of transformation in a landscape that too often feels barren and hostile. Hope is not absent from Santa Monica. It simply requires effort to uncover. It is found in the persistence of outreach workers, the resilience of the unhoused, and the collective will of a community that refuses to surrender to despair. These stories remind us that meaningful change is possible even if it begins with one person at a time. Santa Monica, even now, retains its magic. The waves still roll in, the sun still paints the sky, and the streets still hum with life. But this documentary makes clear, beneath the surface, the city is struggling to breathe. This isn't just a film about homelessness, it's a meditation on visibility, equity, and the soul of a place. It asks, can a city be paradise if it turns a blind eye to suffering? Can it still inspire if it cannot provide? Santa Monica's tragedy is not unique, but in telling it honestly through its people, its policies, and its pain, it offers a vital message. Beauty and burden are not mutually exclusive, but to preserve the former, we must confront the latter. Because in the end, what defines a city is not just its skyline or shoreline, but how it treats those who sleep beneath them. If you are curious to know more about other places, please comment below the video so we can explore more places together.